This example asks us to find the savings plan balance after 2 years with an APR of 4% and monthly payments of $100. So we're going to be using this formula for the amount in accumulated amount or account balance of a savings account after regular deposits are made. So there's some things that we need to identify within this formula, these different variables that are here, and one of them is the payment amount, which we're told that's $100. We need to identify the APR, that is 4%, but we write that as the decimal, 0.04. N is the number of deposits made each year. And so since this said monthly payments or monthly deposits, then we'll put the N is 12. And then over the course of how many years? And we're told that in the problem is for 2 years. So what I've done here is just place these values into the variables that they represent and into the formula. From here, what I'm going to do is bring up the calculator. And this is oftentimes where it might get a little bit messy. So we have to pay very close attention to parentheses or other grouping symbols and how we use those in the calculator. So I'm going to show you this problem first on the TI-34 calculator. This is the one that we recommend if you would like a handheld calculator. So I start off with 100 times, and then the next piece of this formula really is just one big fraction. So I'm going to use the fraction key. You see now it's highlighted there in red, so that shows you where to locate it on your calculator. The square bracket and the parentheses are the same thing as far as this calculator goes. So I'm going to do parentheses, parentheses, and then 1 plus another fraction. So I'll press the fraction key again, 0.04. And if you want to get out of the numerator, you can press the right arrow and it jumps you down to the denominator. And then to get out of the denominator, press the right arrow again. And now I'm going to close this first set of parentheses. So at this point, I'm right here in my formula. And then I'm raising that to a power. So here's the exponent key. And the exponent has a parentheses. That is 12 times 2. I'll close that parentheses. And then again, to get out of the exponent, I press the right arrow. So notice that I went from like a superscript to now I'm in line in the numerator. And then minus 1. And the last thing left is close the parentheses in this overall numerator. So from here, I'm going to press the right arrow. And now I'm jumped down to the denominator. The denominator also has a set of parentheses and a fraction. And in this fraction, let me type in the values and close that parentheses. So at that point, I've typed everything in. I may not see it all on my screen, so it's just really important that you follow very closely what the formula says before you press enter. Just really quick, I'm jumping back to the actual problem in my math lab. Notice that it says do not round until the final answer. And so by doing that, all of that in the calculator at one time, you avoid any rounding errors. And then at the very end, round to the nearest cent. So if we take that number that we had here and round to the nearest cent, we would have $2,494.29. So that's one calculator a lot of people use. Another calculator people like to use is at Desmos. So I'm going to show you this one too really quick. If we go to desmos.com/C, this is what I'm typing in to my web address bar. It takes you immediately to a calculator screen. And there's a lot of things that you can do here on this screen. Graph and just do calculations right here on the left side. So if you want to do these calculations, let's see here, I might need to scrunch up my screen just a little bit so I can see my formula again. I had 100 times, and then to get the fraction to come up, just press the slash or division symbol that's on your keyboard. This is probably the same key as your question mark key. But when you press that symbol, like as if you're going to do 1 divided by 2 or some type of fraction, you press that division symbol first, and then it puts up the fraction template. Again, square brackets are really just parentheses. So I've noticed I've started off with double parentheses and 1 plus. I'm going to press the slash again, forward slash, I guess, is that right? And let's do the numerator, and I can just use my arrow key. I arrow down to get to the denominator. I'll close that parentheses. I'm going to use the exponent key, which is Shift 6 on my keyboard. It's probably something the same on yours. And that was 12 times 2. Oh, by the way, what I'm using for times is Shift 8. Again, I need to press the right arrow. Notice how I'm at a different location right here than when I press the right arrow now. And then do -1, close the parentheses, arrow down, open a parentheses, slash, use the slash symbol for the division, and then finish that out. And notice that I don't even have to finish the problem. As soon as it can start to calculate, it gives me an answer. But again, I need to round to the nearest cent. The nice thing is you can change the window. You saw me changing the window a little bit so that you can see the entire problem just to make sure it matches with what you would write by hand.